It's time to go into business for yourself. Get ready for another episode of the Franchise Academy Podcast. Education, insight, and inspiration. Here's your host, small business and franchise expert, Tom Scarda.
Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Academy Podcast. This is still part of our pandemic editions. So stay tuned. We got some great action, some great information coming at you today. If you don't know it, I'm actually a franchise consultant, coach, and advisor. I match people with opportunities based on skills, personality, goals, kind of like the e-harmony of business. This is what I like to call it. And I help people that are frustrated with their career, people that want to go in a different direction, not work for corporate America. I work with folks also that want to diversify their investments. Today, we're talking with My Business Ventures and Thomas Stridiron, who is the founder, CEO, and president. And Tom was on before. He was actually on my radio show back in the day when we were just a radio show. And I want to bring him back for a few reasons. One is Tom is sort of a rags to riches story, which I love. It's a true entrepreneurial thing. He started from scratch. He lost money. He made money. He lost money. He made money. So that's inspiring to me. So I want to bring him on for that. But more than that, I wanted to bring him on because he's a philanthropist. Just the other day, I know personally, he donated a bunch of money to the Humane Society, to North Shore Animal League here on Long Island, a no-kill shelter, and a bunch of other things. He volunteers for a triathlon, believe it or not, not-for-profit organization with our great friend Noah Lamb. It goes on and on and on. I could read it all, but I don't want to bore you with the details of me reading it. We're going to have Thomas talk about it. So the thing that I like about My Business Venture, Tom, is the fact that, you know, if you're looking for a franchise, sometimes franchises are unattainable because of the cost. The investment for My Business Venture is a fraction, a tenth, in a lot of cases, or 100th of the investment level. So for some people, it's a great online opportunity to get your feet wet. So Thomas, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tom. Welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be back. Usually I see you in person, but hopefully we'll be able to hang out in person again soon once this kind of ends.
Yeah, this pandemic 2020 is probably almost over.
I hope so.
So, how did you get started?
We got started with My Business Venture about 25 years ago. I had worked in Manhattan at the time, and I was tired of the corporate 9-to-5. I realized that I was never really going to be the success level I wanted working for somebody else. Me and a friend, I actually invested $100 in postage, mailing out some flyers to see if we could generate some business. And from that $100 investment, we've turned it into a multi-million-dollar company in 24 years in business, and something that I'm very proud of, not only that we were able to be successful in the long run, but also because our business is about helping other people become successful or start a home-based business, or at least give them the opportunity to live a dream or to chase a dream. And like you said, with franchises, a lot of times that's very difficult because people don't have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to invest in something. Since our investment caps out under $10,000, it pretty much puts a lot of people in position where they could, look to start something reasonably with not a high risk factor and possibly build it into something, worthwhile for them and for their family.
Well, Tom, for me, the thing that I feel for your business is people that think they're going to get in shape just because they join a gym do not buy into your business, because you actually have to work it. You can't just buy the business and be successful.
You cannot. That's one of the toughest things, and one of the biggest things we do is not only do we want to help somebody start a business, but a lot of this is an education process. If they haven't had a business before, just like when I started, I didn't have a business. I made a ton of mistakes, and I thought, hey, if I invest money, that means I should be making money back. But it doesn't really work like that. The investment just gives you an opportunity to turn that into a profit long term. Sometimes people do not make money if they don't put the work in. So what we've done to try to help our customers to kind of keep that curve lower, the failure curve much lower, is that we started MBV University, and all of our customers, once they come on board, they have access to our university and our trainer. So once you start a business, it's not like, hey, here's a website, go have a nice day. We put you in touch with our trainer who will set appointments, and we'll actually show you the best practices to be an entrepreneur, not just for an online business, but for any business. So many of them will use the tools and the information that we give them, and it's applicable to any business, not just this one, but it gives them a much better chance to know, hey, month one, I should be doing this. Month two, I need to be doing that. I can't expect to make $1 million tomorrow. I might not make, any profit for a month or 2 or 3 months. They have to be prepared for that. And we regularly will turn people away. We have an actual 10 question, almost like an application they fill out, and if they answer the questions in a way that we feel is not reasonable, or what their objectives are or not what our program is about, we'll turn them away and say, we don't think this is a good opportunity for you. It's not a good fit. If they're looking, as if they say something, I need to make $1 million next month, this is probably not going to be a good fit for our company. This is a long-term investment, and it does take a lot of work.
That's awesome. So you actually turn people down when they're ready to write you a check. You say no?
We do, because it's not helpful for them, and it's not helpful for us. And if it's something that's not a good fit, we're not for everybody. We probably turn away more business than we accept. But we want to work with people who have a similar mindset, and we know that are a good fit. And we know, based from doing this so long, we know that if you answer these 10 questions a certain way, your chance of success is going to be much better than if we just accept anyone who's interested in starting a business with unrealistic expectations, or who are not willing to work with a trainer, or not willing to put the time and effort in. Just getting the business is not going to really do anything unless you invest time and energy into making it work.
And you know what? For franchising, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
You could buy a multi-million-dollar franchise just because you buy that brand name that you know and love does not mean you're going to be successful. You actually have to work the program. Like they say at the gym, you got to follow the program. Same thing in a franchise, and same thing in my business venture, which is an awesome little online business that somebody could operate right from their home. So it's a great little idea. What do you think separates the winners from the losers in your kind of business? What's a good characteristic?
I think the biggest thing is it's a couple of things. It's their work ethic. It's not necessarily, hey, I have more money or less money to invest, or I'm smarter or not quite as smart. It's more the people who are willing to follow and listen to direction, understand this is a long-term thing. It's not a get-rich-quick thing. Sometimes people are not successful, but if they're willing to work with us and follow our proven game plan, usually they're going to have a much better chance at doing well. Not everyone is successful, but by having the training and the additional services that we provide to them, unlike some of the other places, their chance of success is going to be tenfold higher. For instance, if you go with someone similar, just like a Shopify or these other areas, they don't really have one-on-one training. You have to email and hope to get support back in 48 hours. You can call our office and somebody picks up live during all business hours, and we have 24-hour support. And they're going to work specifically with someone who's actually going to train you what to do one-on-one. And that's an advantage that we can provide that a lot of the others do not, which I feel separates us and gives us a much better, well-rounded program.
So is the program doable outside of the United States? Can you do this if you're one of our friends in Canada, or even off the continent in Europe or India?
Our drop shippers currently work with the U.S. and Canada. For right now, Canada is a little bit more difficult because of the pandemic, so we haven't really been accepting new clients to Canada just for the next month or so until this kind of dies down. But typically, most of our clients are all located in the U.S. and Canada. We do not operate outside of that at this time. However, if somebody did say they traveled and went on vacation, they would be able to operate their business from anywhere. It's just that the product lines are shipped primarily to the U.S. and Canada at this time.
So the way we met was through Noah Lamb here on Long Island. And The way you met Noah is through
Triathlon. Correct.
So, question for you. What makes you do triathlons? What the heck is wrong with you?
I'm not really even sure how it started. I had met a friend that I was in college with, and we lost touch for about 20 years. We met back up after 20 years, and we started talking, saying, hey, we should try something outside of our comfort zone. And about 6 years ago, we decided, hey, let's do a triathlon. Neither of us were backed out. We were probably hoping the other would back out. Neither did. And we did our first triathlon. It was something that I never thought I could do. The swimming part I was nervous about, and, can I bike that far or run that far? But the best thing about it is once you're done and you see that you can do that, it actually opens up not just exercise-wise. The exercise part, I think it does more for you mentally than it does physically, that you can overcome challenges and things like that. So for me, it's more something that I can, try to do to try to inspire myself to say, hey, you can accomplish things that maybe you thought you couldn't. So it's something, and also the people that you meet in triathlon are usually very inspirational people. Instead of the people say, well, you can't do that, they'll actually prop you up and push you to do a little better than maybe you thought you could.
Yeah, amazing. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you ever read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. Mm-hmm. He talks about doing things to callous your mind.
Right.
And then you build what he calls a cookie jar in your mind. So when you have a difficult circumstance to come up against, you could say, well, I've done how many triathlons?
I've done about 20 right now.
Yeah. So, there's nothing you can't do. As far as I'm concerned,
if you put your mind to it and you train for it, and you come up with a game plan, it's no different than, what seems daunting is not really daunting if you come up with a game plan and slowly work towards that. But that's not just triathlon, that's life in general. And I think sometimes if we say, hey, I want to, make $1 million, or, that's not how it starts. Hey, how about I'll make $500, then I'll make 1,000. And you start there and you work slow to work towards a goal. And I think people always are looking for some get rich quick or some quick, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 days, or, really that's not a good long-term strategy. And if you can come up with a plan and stick to it, regardless if it's triathlon or working or, being a good neighbor or whatever that is, it takes time to do that stuff and develop relationships and to try to get, towards that goal that you're looking for.
Right. And it's really, you develop what they call a glass half full mentality. And you always hear people say, it's a glass half full, half empty, and it's being positive or negative. I heard somebody years ago say, it doesn't matter if it's half full or half empty. What matters is what's in your cup.
Correct.
And then just this week, my yoga instructor, Loretta, told a story about it's not what's in your cup, but it's how long you hold your cup. Right? So if you talk about holding a cup for a minute, that's okay. But hold that cup for an hour, it starts to hurt. Hold it for a day or a lifetime, if you talk about emotion or negative emotion, that's debilitating. And it'll kill you in the long term. but that, so that's why I love to have you on, because you're definitely a glass half full kind of person. So tell me about the Lightning Warriors triathlon for the youth, the nonprofit you're working on.
Yeah, that's I work with Noah Lamb on the board for that. That's the Lightning Warriors Youth Triathlon Club. And what we do is we're trying to get young kids introduced into the sport of triathlon. Again, the idea is not that they're going to, become professional triathletes. Most of us are not, including myself. The idea is that we're getting them building confidence, and we're helping them to see that they can accomplish things. And we had our first race last year, and to see these kids cross the finish lines was the most amazing and touching thing you ever saw. Kids who before were coming out of the water crying, I can't do this, got on their bike, continued on, did the run, and when they finished, to go over to them and say, hey, I saw you wanted to give up and you didn't. And to have their parents come up to you after as a volunteer or someone on the board and say, hey, you don't understand what you did to my child and his self-esteem. He's really been down lately. And now he can tell his friends he did a triathlon and he's 7 years old or 8 years old. I mean, it's not really, again, so much even about getting them in shape. Yes, that's a great part of it. I think it's more about building their mind and their confidence, because I think, especially in these days of social media, it's very easy for kids to compare themselves to others and And this was just a really nice thing that they weren't on their phones. They were out in the fresh air doing these things. Their parents were cheering them on and were proud of them. And just, I mean, it was one of the most special days. I would say that more than the triathlons I've ever done, I've had more time, I had more fun, and that one was more satisfying being a spectator and a volunteer than it was competing in any of for myself.
That is really, really cool stuff. There's so much to be said for that. And then you're also doing other philanthropic things locally on Long Island, right? What else are you getting involved in these days?
Well, we've been doing a bunch of different things. Around Christmas time, we typically work with children who may be homeless and might not have a Christmas. We try to help them with gifts. We had a huge turnout. I know we helped a couple hundred children receive gifts this Christmas. Recently, I've been working with Island Harvest on Long Island. There's a lot of the food banks are running very low now because of what's happening. So recently, I just worked with Noah. Irene was raising money for Island Harvest, so we helped out with that. So we've been trying to help out local running clubs or raising. A lot of this is food drive things that the food banks are very low right now. So we're trying to keep open, and we're very fortunate that our company is thriving. So we're trying to do our part to kind of pay it forward. As you know, that our company is big philanthropically, and we started a division called MBV Gives Back about 4 or 5 years ago with the intent that, hey, it's not really necessarily how much profit we put into our pockets. A lot of it is what kind of impact can we leave for the community and do our part to make it a little bit better. So that's something that's very important to me, especially growing up the way I did, looking for assistance from other people for us to make ends meet. It's one of the things I'm most proud of trying to be able to do is to try to see what I can do to maybe help somebody else's situation a little bit.
Well, congratulations to you and your team on all of those endeavors. That is absolutely mind-blowing. So I give you a lot of props for that. That's so awesome.
Thank you. And I know you do a lot too. So we don't often talk about it, but it's something that I think we both are very interested in doing, because it's one thing to be successful maybe in business, but I think it's more successful to be as a human being and to try to have empathy to others and try to pay it forward, especially if you're able to do so.
Absolutely. And we're all about that. Not only at the Franchise Academy, but we have Franchising Gives Back, which is administered through the International Franchise Association. So there's actually international giving that goes on through franchise organizations, franchise companies all over the country, all over the world. So, I guess maybe that's why we connected and saw eye to eye on a lot of things without even knowing it. You attract people that are like you. So you had mentioned in passing there that the company's doing well. So your local business owners are doing good?
Well, what we're finding is, as you know, we're a little different than a franchise. We sell a home-based business opportunity, primarily an online website. And you can imagine that at this time when no one's really going out of their house, online sales are through the roof. Even Amazon can't promise 2-day delivery anymore. They're just so overwhelmed. So we have so many people contacting us saying, hey, we would like to start a business. We'd like to start a home-based business. We see that business is thriving. Even during a pandemic, it's thriving. And we had our best month in 18 months last month during a pandemic. It's difficult logistically because some of our employees are in the office, some are remote, and we're trying to keep up and help as many people as we can, because I think it's helping them mentally feel better that maybe they have a little more financial control. So many people have been laid off. There's so many terrible stories, and our customers that we do have on board are doing more sales than we've ever done. The young lady who takes care of our shipping is pulling her hair out trying to keep up with these orders, which is a very good thing for our customers and for us, and we're glad that they're being able to be successful during a very difficult time where there's a lot of people sick and dying, and there's not that much positive information on the news right now. It's something that gives us hope and makes us happy that we're able to help as many people as we can right now. So it's really cool.
That is really cool. So Thomas, how does the model work? Really? So I buy the website from you, and then what happens?
Well, typically our investment levels are between $4,000 to $8,000, so it's not very expensive. That includes your training, your website, a logo, social media, 24/7 support of anything. But basically, once that's up and running, we load your site up with about 15,000 products. We maintain the site for you so that inventory goes out, we take it off the site. New inventory goes on, it goes on the site. You control your pricing. Once somebody we help you market your site. Once orders start coming through your site, your customer gets an email. You get an email as the website owner. Our shipping department gets an email. We ship the product out to your customer, send them the tracking number. You collect the difference in the profit. So you sold it for $100. Your cost was $50. We covered the shipping. You made $50. So it's actually very simplified. We have it down to a science. And you're basically our website owners. Their main goal is to market their business, whether that's tell your friends and family, Facebook ads, social media posts, all that kind of stuff is what we're going to help show them how to do. And our job is to do all the back end for them. So you just get the sale. We'll take care of it from there.
Cool. So what kind of items can you find on these sites? I mean, what are people selling?
Well, there's about 15,000 items. It's anything from housewares. Right now, we just put a bunch of masks on there, which obviously are important right now during the pandemic. There's a lot of gifts, novelties, electronics, perfumes. It's almost like a little Walmart or Target online. The customer can choose to sell all of them, or they may say, look, I really only want to sell perfumes. I like the markups there. They can choose and control their product line and what they'd like on their site. And we also have our drop shipper also will assist them in uploading a store to Amazon or eBay and things like that. So they have multiple channels to actually offer their products.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. So it's almost like being an affiliate of an affiliate.
You know what it is? I think from us doing this for so long and me starting a business, and I made so many mistakes and cost myself probably hundreds of thousands of dollars over the year. We kind of know what works and what doesn't. So not that we know everything that works, but we can probably help you avoid 90% of the pitfalls that most new business owners fall into, because we've already done it. We've educated them. We're going to educate you on doing that. And again, that's why our university, we have an office in Atlanta, and all they do is training for our customers. They're available. We have a student portal. They can log in, watch tutorials. And it's not just about running a business. Hey, how can I write off certain things? How do I keep a positive attitude when things aren't going good? So it's not just about running a business and how to get sales. It's about coming up with an entrepreneurial mindset, realizing that you have the potential to do that if you stick with it. Some days are going to be good. Some days you're going to lose money. Some days you're going to make money. But having that fortitude to stick through it through good times and bad. I mean, we've been in business 20 some odd years. There's been years where we didn't do very well. There's been years we've done fantastic. That's part of the ups and downs of having a business. And if you have the stomach for that, this is a really good investment, especially because you can still have your 9-to-5 job and do this on the side. So you're not going to risk your family's well-being by doing this. Yeah,
it makes sense. And it's interesting, it helps you, in my opinion, kind of dip your toe into the water of entrepreneurship to see if you do have the stomach for it.
Yeah. And a lot of times, that was exactly that. A lot of times this is a stepping stone to something bigger. So instead, there's a lot of things like Amway that are really lower end where you don't have any investment. And then you have the franchise, which is a huge investment. We're kind of in that middle there where, hey, I want something a little bit more substantial than an affiliate program, but I really don't want to invest $50,000 or $100,000 because I don't even know if I have the stomach for this. I may not have the money. I don't want to cash in my 401k yet. So a lot of the people that we start, if they do well with this, they may use this as eventually sell this business and move on to a franchise and use this as a stepping stone to get a nice, it's almost like grade school, and now you've gone on to college. It's almost like this is they graduate from high school, then they go on to something bigger and better. So we're very happy to be able to educate them and help them make a little bit of money all along the way, give them some confidence and some business acumen. And from there, they can utilize that to make it a little bit of a bigger investment. So like you said, dip the toe in the water, just don't jump in the deep end. Let's, paddle around a little bit and see what we got.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned Amway, and if it wasn't for Amway, I wouldn't be in business myself. I started, dabbling in that in like the 90s.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I figured out, business and sales and whatever, and then I got into franchising. So it's so funny how the stepping stones that we take in life.
We do.
And that's all you need is a stepping stone and somebody to give you kind of a leg up, if you will. So.
Yeah, it's a very exciting. It's an exciting time for our company and for the people we're helping. I mean, the people are so excited to get on board, and we contact them and we show them what we're able to do for them. We've been having we've actually had to limit the amount of people we've been able to take on because we can only train so many people. Our training is filling up very quickly, so we're trying to work with people really interested and really motivated to make this work, because the better they do, the more valuable it is for our company, and it makes our program that much better. So we really like to work with those motivated individuals that they may not have the most business sense at this time, but they have the energy and they're really interested and motivated to make something for themselves. So for those people, we really love working with them, seeing how they grow and start doing sales. And we have some people that are just doing amazing, and it's really nice to see. So we're hoping to continue to be able to see that other people prosper in addition to our company as well.
Yeah. And I think that, the pandemic itself is having people kind of second guess their life and their career. And then they're like, hey, maybe I should do my own thing and, and try to control my own destiny and get into something that's pandemic resistant. Because this is kind of pandemic resistant,
Yeah, in fact, with the pandemic, our customers have seen more sales because everyone's buying online. No one's leaving their house. A lot of the products that they can get on the websites, they can't get anywhere else. So we've actually our biggest thing is trying to make sure we continue to work with the drop shippers to keep the sites updated because stock levels are all over the place. But we've done a good job with that. We've been able to pretty much fulfill every order that's come in, and we're going to continue to do that. And it's been a lot of hard hours and working remote. Our advisors are working on Saturdays and even Sundays to speak with people so that we can help as many people as we can. But we're very fortunate, and we know that, and we know that more that we can do to help others, not just start a business, but then also pay it forward to other ways, we're going to look to continue to do so. So while it is a very trying time for many people, especially we're here in New York where we've been hit extremely, extremely hard, we also do still have a lot to look forward to, and we are very fortunate in many ways. So we're very grateful of that.
Well, amen to that. That's awesome. So what's the website? How can people learn more about My Business Venture?
Well, we have two different sites. The best site for them to go to for information on the program, specifically the work at home business that we offer, the best site would be MBV. So that's M Mary B Boy V Victor. Then the word sites, SITES.net. So mbvsites.net is the best place to find out all the details about the program. Schedule a free, no obligation consultation with one of our consultants or advisors. Again, typically a 5-minute phone call. Let us know if we have a reason to speak further. If we're not, that's fine, because again, it's not for everyone. But a quick phone call, usually we'll be able to see if we have some common ground and a reason that we should speak further. So that would be the best way. Or they can even just call us at our toll-free number, which is 1-800-639-6644. During normal business hours, a live person always picks up, which is very rare these days.
Yeah, that's so true. So really thank you for that. We're going to have all that information on our website, thefranchiseacademy.com. So all the contact information going back to mybusinessventure.com will be there for you, phone numbers and everything. So Thomas, I want to thank you for being on the show again. It's always great, and hopefully we'll be able to get together and have a cocktail.
So hopefully a cocktail, cigar, nice dinner again. I'm looking forward to doing that stuff and seeing you real soon, and I hope you stay safe and everyone in your family is doing well as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You too. Hope you're staying safe. So
we are.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned for another episode of the Franchise Academy coming up right after this. Thanks, everyone. Be safe.
Take care, Tom. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
This has been another episode of the Franchise Academy Podcast. For more info, go to our website, thefranchiseacademypodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Tom Scarda's YouTube channel for educational videos on franchising, education, insight, and inspiration.